Yo, yo, Todd here.
And Joel.
Gamblers Hub, Super Bowl edition. It is February 7th, 2024. Well, I'm going to let Joel take it. It's a big game. It's San Francisco, Kansas City in the Taylor Swift Bowl. No, I don't think so. This is the Super Bowl, baby. What do you think, Joel?
I mean, you know me. I'm a 49ers fan, so I've been on the Niners bandwagon all year. I have a bet that I placed. That was a nice, healthy bet.
Tell the people about it. Do you want to tell the people?
Yeah, of course. So I almost do this at the beginning of every season that there's even a remote chance. So like before the Warriors season starts, because I'm also a Warriors fan, I placed a bet on them to win the championship. That's probably not going to pay off, so it was only like a $20 bet. The Niners, however, I felt really good about, and that was a $300 bet I put at the beginning of the season. So I'm looking at about $3,300 cash out if they win. And FanDuel's offering me, what is it right now? $1,522 to cash it out right now. And I am not going to do it. I'm going to roll that dice and go for that extra $1,800 because I want that full amount and I believe in them. They are going to win this game. What's it, still 1.5, right? Was it still 1.5 the spread? Oh, it's up to 2.5 now.
2.5.
So it's going back and forth, which is interesting because I don't know if you've been watching the sports. Almost every sports show that I've watched tends to pick Kansas City to win this one. Like if you go like on ESPN, they have like 8 people picking. Like 6 of them are going to pick Kansas City to win.
See, this is what I don't understand, is that I haven't seen as many of those sports shows, but what I have seen is that the money is moving 1.5 to 2.5. It started at 1, 1.5 now 2.5. So the public has to be betting more on San Francisco, don't they?
That's the only explanation. Because I mean, unless you're one, I'm not going to go too into this, but unless you really think it's rigged, and if you think it's rigged and you're still betting on sports, then I'm sorry, I do not know what to do with you. You're just throwing your money away if you really believe that the NFL is, fixing it so that, blah, 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 blah. Unless you're in on this rig too, stop betting. The whole point of a sports bet is volume plus the vig, right? The whole idea is that you have the same amount of people betting for the Chiefs as the Niners at whatever spread it is so that they get that vig. And the whole point is to adjust the line so that there's not a gamble. The whole sports bet is not taking 70% of bets for 49ers at 1.5, 30% on the Chiefs. The point is to get it as close to 50-50 as possible, and then they scoop that 10%, and then they win no matter who wins. Otherwise, the sports books are just gambling like everybody else. And that goes back to, if it's fixed, then maybe there's a point there. But then if you're betting on it and you don't know what the fix is, what are you doing?
So you truly have heard KC on all these shows?
I mean, obviously some people are picking the Niners, but yeah, like when there's like a big panel show, like the majority that I've seen pick the Chiefs. And it's because of Mahomes. And I get it. He's amazing. He's, 5 straight AFC Championship games and 4 out of 5 Super Bowl trips. Like he's got the magic. So I get it. I think the Niners are going to win. I think they're due. I think Shanahan is going to finally get over the hump and win this game. And I say that as a biased 49ers fan and as a football fan. So I genuinely think that the Niners win this game.
Okay. Well, about 6-7 years ago, for about 15 years, I had a TV show in Colorado called Late Night with the Pleasures Dudes. You can look us up on YouTube as Pleasures Dudes, all one word. And I met a lot of gambling people because of Vegas and the AVN Awards, the red carpet. I met some Italian folk. And they used to tell me that, you never know. Meaning, some player gets a hair up his ass, he may do something if he's getting paid. I don't know. I would hope not. But I think San Francisco is looking good. I think but Kansas City had a good ending. Why don't you talk, again, Pleasures Dudes, we have the graphics right up there. Pleasures Dudes, all one word. Look it up. There's some interesting porn star interviews. And by the way, I'm very sad that my very good friend Jesse Jane died about 8 days ago. Jessie Jane was my good friend. She did a lot of TV with me. She was a great porn star. Jessie Jane. Jessie Jane the Beautiful. Now, Joel, why don't you talk about some prop bets?
Okay. I like me some prop bets. So the first thing I want to touch on is I know that the numbers aren't good, but McCaffrey touchdown is minus 230. It's not going to pay out that well, but he's going to score a touchdown. I think he's only not scored a touchdown in 3 games he's played with as a 49er, including playoffs, and so it's a good bet. You might want to parlay that with something else just to make the odds a little bit more even, like maybe 50 yards rushing for him. That's also another negative 400. Put them together and make yourself an even bet. Speaking of McCaffrey, his numbers, and it's weird because Shanahan can hit you in so many different ways. He can hit you with the running game, with the quick passing game, with the play action. So it's tough to say, okay, McCaffrey's totally going to get 92 yards of rushing. Because you never know if he's going to get his big play, his big chunk of play on a screen pass, or a pass or something like that. So what I like for him is the over of 130.5 for rushing plus receiving yards. So you're protected in case he gets a big running game, but you bet him on the passing or receiving game, or vice versa. So as long as he gets 131 total yards from scrimmage, you're set there, and that is a good one because he is going to get the ball a lot. He's going to get at least 25 touches, I think, in this game. So he's going to get there. Another one I like, and a lot of people I've seen also like it, is Travis Kelce getting over 6.5 receptions. He is obviously their best receiver. Their wide receivers are not good. He's going to be Mahomes' safety net. I think that's an easy 7 to 10 catches for him. Whether he'll get his 72 yards, I don't know, because the Niners defense is good. So, he's going to get these short passes. Whether he breaks them off is another thing.
Well, I'll interject with one.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, I believe only offshore will take this bet, but I just have a single number, and that is either 7, 8, or 9. And what do you think it goes to? It's not easy to figure out. 7, 8, or 9.
Squares?
No. 7, 8, or 9, what that is they are going to show a close-up of Taylor Swift. 7, 8, or 9 times is the number. I don't know which one. It isn't going to be 6. I don't think it's going to be more than 9. And what do you think of that, since I'm out of my mind?
I think that's fair. I mean, yeah, it's Taylor Swift. She's the most famous musician.
Do you think that's enough? Does that number sound good to you? 7,
I think
8,
so.
or
I
9?
think you got to show her because she's totally relevant to what's happening.
Right.
But you don't want to overkill it and go every single time, Jason. You're
right. So what do you think of that number?
No, I think 7, 8, or 9 is right.
Yeah.
On a side note on that one, I just want to say I've seen a few videos this last few weeks, and I'm encouraged because we all talk a little bit of mess about Taylor Swift and how irrelevant she is to the game.
Right.
But then I see these videos of these 12-year-old girls sitting there with their dads watching football and being able to tell you who is doing what and how many yards it is to the first down. And this would not have happened before this year, and I think that's pretty neat.
It's good for the family.
Yeah.
It's great for guys that have daughters.
Yeah, I don't have a daughter, I have a son, and he likes to watch the game with his vintage Jerry Rice shirt that used to be mine, and we sit there together and watch the game. But if I had a girl and Taylor Swift was the only reason why she tuned in and sat there with me on a Sunday for 3 hours just hoping to catch Taylor Swift on TV for 5 seconds, 7, 8, or 9 times, I'm good with it.
Okay, let's go on to the next good prop.
Okay. The other one I like, and again, I touched on how Shanahan can hit you from so many different angles, and they have so many weapons. You got Kittle, you got Ayuk, you got Samuel, they got McCaffrey, and then you got Juszczyk, who's sneaks in there. They got Jennings, who's a third down monster. But I think Kittle is the win this week. This one is the week that Kittle goes nuts. He plays with such fire and passion, and his over/under for yards is only 49.5. That's just one play, one broken tackle, and you're there. He's going to get the ball 4 to 6 times, I bet. And that's just 10 yards a catch. And if he gets a 20 or 31, you're all the way there. So I like Kittle on the over-under for receiving yards as well.
Okay, now I got something interesting here before you go back to your next Super Bowl prop bet. Now, we only once talked about a thing called middling. middling.
Mm-hmm.
Remember.
Yeah.
Now I started thinking about this, so I want you to hear another way. Really what middling is you're betting on both sides in a specific way, mostly buying points and adjusting, and you can win on both teams. Now think about this. So I have not made these bets since baseball. And think about this a minute. KC is right now plus 2.5. You buy 5 points and they're 7.5, and then you take San Francisco, who's minus 2.5. You buy whatever amount of points. What is your thought on that?
My thought is it can
Well,
work.
you can as a San Francisco fan. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, like I said before, I don't bet against my teams.
Right.
I just merely abstain
Right,
from
of course.
voting. But in terms of that takes some sort of talent right there, is to
Yes.
find that sweet spot, because you could easily find yourself on the outs of one bet, winning one bet, and then you're not middling, you're lower thirding. I don't know what
Right.
that's called.
Right. No, the person that taught me this, yeah, he was in Vegas, and I watched him, and he would show me his tickets when I would be working the ABN Awards in Vegas for the adult industry as the pleasures dudes. But long story short, yeah, middling works. It's a little technical, but how do you tell the people watching? How do you follow your props as the game's going?
How do you follow?
Yeah, is there a?
You just go on
an
to
app?
whatever app you're using, whether you're FanDuel, your DraftKings, and they'll have it listed. Say you're in the middle of the second quarter and Mahomes has 89 passing yards at that point. They'll show you that he has 89 passing yards, and they'll have the new updated over/under, and then you can place your bets that way, depending on how it's going.
And we're adjusting our podcast, and what we're trying to do is bring in some newcomers that are very new to sports gambling. And what Joel told you is something you might have been wondering if you didn't figure it out yourself. But as time goes on, we're going to be really teaching some of the newcomers and some of the people that are savvy bettors. I will be getting some inside information from my Vegas friends, and I've been doing great in college basketball the last few days. Do you want to let them know that we're doing a daily podcast?
Yeah, we do this daily. We try to get it out about noon to 2 o'clock on Mountain Time, just because that gives you a few hours before the games usually start. Weekends are obviously a different ball game, but usually they start at 5 o'clock here. So that gives you a little time to watch it, digest, check your own stats, and see where we go. I'm hitting at about 58%, which is probably due to the sheer volume of my picks. And like Todd said, he's been crushing it lately. I'm hitting 3 out of 3, 2 out of 3 a bunch of times lately.
5 out of 6. Over a year's period of time, I come in at between 68 and 72% winning. And that's because baseball, I am on spot. So let's go back. You have any more props for the Super Bowl?
I do, and it's because I don't want you guys to think that I'm just a 49ers homer and I will only pick on the 49ers to do amazing. But Deebo Samuels, I love the dude. Deebo Samuel, I mean, he is awesome. However, his rushing over-under is 16.5, which seems not very much, but he's only hit it 5 times out of 19 games this year. And most of those were early on in the season, so I think a good bet is the under on that one. Obviously, you're one play away from that just being completely destroyed in the first quarter. But like I said, it's only happened 5 times out of 19 games, so that one's hitting 3 out of 4 times basically on the under. So that seems like a good one. Conversely, we got Brock Purdy at 12.5 rushing yards, and we all saw him scampering around, as George Kittle said, like a little water dragon just running down the field. 12.5 seems very doable, even on just one play. The Chiefs are going to have a great pass rush, especially against the right side of the offensive line of the Niners, which is certainly one of their weaknesses. So I can see Brock Purdy breaking the huddle, or breaking the pocket and scampering out there a couple times to get that 13 yards. So I like that Brock Purdy over, Deebo under.
Now, I looked at the total last. 46.5 or 47.5?
Stand by. 47.5.
Okay. That seems to be like a very average Super Bowl over the years total.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that I don't like that number much. I don't play that number. I look at a lot of games based on certain numbers. Not numbers just, that number's like not too high, not too low. It's right in the middle. I mean, it is. What do you think?
I think that's a flip a coin situation.
Yeah. So we're basically advising don't play it. It's a tough one. It is a 50-50.
Yeah, I lean towards the over just because that's...
Yeah, because you want to see action.
Because I want to see action.
Right.
And I think that the Niners offense puts up 30 points.
Keep in mind that Vegas knows everybody wants to see action.
Yeah.
So if you look statistically at over-unders across the board in all games that exist,
Under.
it always will go under.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of trending this week, NBA prop bets as well. It's like, just bet the under because everybody wants over.
And that came from a great friend of mine,
Yeah.
Jeff. Oh, yes. Jeff is the one that totally loves that.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go to bring that down, to like 41.5. I feel better about that number to go over.
Right.
Along with
so
maybe
you buy some.
I buy some points and then I combine that with maybe the Niners
in
plus
a parlay.
3.5.
Right. Okay. Do you have any more props for the Super Bowl?
What color is the Gatorade going to be?
Well, that's a good question.
No, it's not. That's just a stupid question. You might as well just go flip a coin with somebody in the alleyway for $1.
I'm going to actually call it right now. I'm calling it.
Okay.
Orange.
Okay. I'm going to go with red because they're both red teams.
Right. Okay. So any more props or are we going to close this down?
I think we're going to close it down there. Go Niners. Come on.
Yeah. It's the Super Bowl. It's coming up this Sunday. Look, we like San Francisco. I'm on San Francisco anyway, right?
Yes.
I myself am probably going to buy some points just in case. I'm going to take them a few different ways. I'm going to buy some points, play it on a money line, also minus the 2.5. SF all the way, baby.
At least the 2.5 is minus 105 instead of 110, so you get a little bit more juice back for you.
And keep in mind, subscribe, like us. We're coming back after the Super Bowl. It's going to be college basketball and my forte, baseball. And, the Dodgers are going to have huge numbers like minus 400 and 300 because of those great Asian players that they got.
Yeah. Oh, you make sure to bet the Dodgers in the regular season, not in the playoffs. Because they choke in the playoffs.
Well, we'll see. As you're a San Francisco fan, I'm a Dodger fan, but excited to see those guys. What are their names?
Otani and Yamamoto?
That they got.
Or Yamamoto, sorry, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, just
they're
throw
going to
money at
make
the
magic with some good pitchers. Unfortunately, Kershaw's going to miss the first half of the season.
Who cares?
Yeah, but I'm a Dodger fan. That's why. Okay, so this is Todd.
Joel.
Hey, Gamblers Hub, like, subscribe. Hey, check out the Pleasures Dudes on YouTube and see what I used to do on my TV show. We're out of here.